Let's march on, everybody. Let's do it. We got the transfer portal to get to. Got that CEO tab to unlock, even though we're not even going to be able to put any points on the damn thing right now, but it's fine. We do already have, what is it, 10 recruits so far this year. We got some dudes left on the board who weren't that bad. But then we have the transfer portal, and let's see who's out there this year. In terms of the 5 stars, no 5 stars in the portal. 4 stars. Not a single 4-star wants to come to the 2-time national champions. Sure. That makes sense. We'll double check 3 stars. Only 3 3-stars want to come here. All right. Okay, well, we'll primarily focus on the prospect list then. Move conference, I can't yet. An off-season maneuver, sir. Are there any 5 stars left that haven't commit yet? No. Are there any 4 stars? Just guys that we already have on our board. That means we are down to looking at 3-star players. Good to know. 3-star fullbacks. We do need a fullback. We'll start looking at these fuckers. Do I really want to look to see if I can find an elite fullback? I don't think I do. I think we just want to get one on the roster. It would be a good meme, though. Ryan Etheridge. Schedule your visit. We have over 1,000 points to spend now in this week, which is pretty funny. Our B coach prestige. And we will go ahead and not really be able to sell you on anything, so let's just put the points on. Nothing but 3 stars for the back-to-back national title is just odd. Odd's a good word for it. I think a lot of people would describe it as bad and kind of ridiculous, but odd's also a pretty good way to describe it. Maybe a kinder way to describe it, right? Maybe. And Timmy Montgomery, maybe we're under investigation. Yeah. Yeah, don't worry, we're getting the SMU death penalty. There we go, we're gonna drop ourselves down back to the bottom tier again. We'll implement recruitment restrictions. Give ourselves the death penalty. This guy is a junior, so no thanks. Honestly, any of you 3-star fullbacks, I don't even care who's good, you're a fullback. Just fucking come here. I don't want to waste points on you. We do need a fullback for need. Alright. Well, we'll just offer you all basic level deals and see what happens. Right. Okay. In terms of team needs, we got wideout and 2 offensive linemen on the board. We need a fullback. We apparently need a tight end still. Didn't we have a tight end on the board? Oh, it was wideout. Okay, so we need a tight end. 2 more offensive linemen, which are on the board here already. So let's go look at 3-star tight ends, since we don't have anybody we can get from the portal, which doesn't make too much sense, but, you know, that's fine. Quite a few guys that are willing to come here, so we'll prioritize them, since we already have some interest built up. So Jeremy Muse. Mr. Muse. Session type. You are trash. Mr. Jordan Batonio. Can't run routes worth a damn, but does have some decent hands. So, put some points on him. Kane McGarrahan. That's gotta be Kane. And much like real life Kane, that guy sucks. Amador. We got for Mr. Amador. Apparently a gem, but I don't really believe you. Sneed was a JUCO, so we'll take him out. And then what about Derek Madu? Not Madood, but Derek Madu. He's a decent blocking type. So we'll get him onto our board as well. That works. And then defensive needs. We need one more linebacker. And 6 members of the secondary. Because of that transfer out. Right. So one more linebacker. And 6 members of the secondary. Easy. Easy peasy. So any linebackers that have interest in us. Look at you guys. And we'll start looking at secondary options here. Any tips for scouting that you found? Pay more attention to attributes as opposed to anything else is the biggest thing I can recommend right now. Gems aren't guaranteed to have great dev traits, even if they're a 5-star gem. It's okay. Pay attention to the attributes. It's the biggest thing. Yeah, both those linebackers are kind of disappointing so far. Floyd Harbor. 88 speed. Play recognition kind of sucks. As isn't bad. He's not that bad. Build around him really quickly. Also, if you're in the early stages, don't try to compete with big schools for players. It's just not going to work out well. More often than not. Gilmore. Yeah, he's fast. All right. Points on him. Dalvin Henry. Harbor only had 70 tackle, but at least he can play. You know, for all these guys, let's just see what we can do. Try to make up some ground here. I mean, we need plenty of players, so. And what about Lester Hutton? 85 tackle, can't play zone, but could play the edge, but then again, his block shedding kind of sucks. Not feeling it, Lester. Tyler Bayo. Yeah. Kind of mid. Malik Sams. Corner. Corners can never tackle. He does have decent man coverage. His zone coverage is fucking abysmal. Jesus. He's not great. Malcolm Enderley. I can see why he's more of a gem. Again, he can't tackle worth a shit, though. Can't play man, but he can play zone, so he'd be a safety. Courtney Greenidge. Listed as a bust. Yeah, the coverages are way too poor. Lee Kafka. Apparently a gem. Fast as hell. Man coverage is decent. Tackling is decent as well. You know what? Let's some points on Mr. Kafka here. I like him a lot. And we have LaMarcus Tompkins. Can't play any sort of coverage, so we'll get him out of there. Sammy Stirrup. The name. Coverages are pretty bad, man. Yeah, get out of there. And then Matt Denson. Mr. Denson. Any sort of coverage out of the gate, so let's get him out of there. You know, we'll go for these guys too, just because at this point we need bodies to fill out open spots on this team. Best from there. So from there, we should have enough space to add potential safeties. Hopefully. Kind of sucks we gotta look for 3 stars, but the portal's a complete non-factor for us, despite being back-to-back national champions. There's only 2 safeties anyway. Don't even know how good they are. But we will just offer out a scholarship. As a sophomore JUCO. And then Jacques Sandage. go. All right, that'll be week 1. That'll be week number 1. Oh, good thing it's called off-season recruitment and transfer portal, because there's no transfer portal. Timmy Montgomery. Welcome in, Timmy. What a man. It's the only guy that we got, but nobody's off our board right now, which is pretty good. Those points, get that CEO tab. All right, so Mr. Montgomery's in. Let's get Carlton or Charlton, whatever you prefer. Get him on 10 points. Sandage on 10. Probably can't scout these guys really quickly because we haven't even done that yet. Sandage. It's not great. Yeah, sorry, Jacques. You're pretty shit. Jason Charlton. You are also trash. Okay. Not going to get much help at corner, are we? Not great. Who has yet to visit? Mr. Batonio. You scheduled. Championship contender. Mr. Henry. Program tradition works. Max Gilmore. Program tradition works. And Lee Kafka. Hopefully you care about contender status. All I can pretty much offer you. Right. We'll just go based off of interest at this stage. Etheridge had max points. J. Smith. Mr. Smith. Get max points on whoever we can get here. Another fullback, Feliciano. I'm not surprised a lot of fullbacks are interested in this. To be honest, we can actually scout out the fullbacks just to see who the best of the bunch happens to be. Mr. Smith is apparently a bust. His lead block is good. That's kind of what you want, isn't it? Tyler Feliciano. Better lead block. He has pretty much better everything. You know what, Mr. Smith, I'm sorry, you're out of here. Byron Rochelle. Also a gem, has screen enforcer. And then Terrence Hutchinson. Apparently just fine. Well, do it that way then. At least we got the worst of the bunch out of there. Wasted a couple of points on him, but let's be honest, I now have more points than I will ever have to use. So, what are you gonna do, right? What are you gonna do? Yeah, I do at least want to hit level 50 with our head coach here. And poke around a bit from there about what the max looks like. See how well that works out for us. Mr. Derek Madu. Lights on you. Kinda sucks we just had a set of players go pro early as sophomores, but that's also a sign that you have really good talent, so it's not unrealistic, but it does suck for the sake of our program, because those were two very important players. Max on 70. Mr. Harbor. We have the depth, I think. I mean, I do think our depth is still decent enough to survive it, but a time, I cost a dime. I taste like a lime. What am I? A very hard riddle. I see thy time. I cost a dime, and I taste like lime. I am going to go with former President of the United States, Donald Trump. Am I close? Because he can see thy time which is probably coming to an end because he's old as fuck. Oldest guy to ever run for president. He costs a dime because he's cheap as fuck and can be bought because he has no morals. And then tastes like lime. I mean, I can only presume the orange paint he puts on his face is, has some sort of taste to it, you know? Am I the only one that thinks that? Like, there's got to be some sort of taste to that. Right? Not saying it's a good taste, but, you know. I'm intrigued to know the answer. I think I got it, though. I think I got it. Off to week number 3. We do get 4-star wideout out of Tallahassee, Ryan Etheridge, as well as 4-star offensive tackle Matt Jones out of Oconomowoc, Wisconsin. Yes, you are the only one who thought. I disagree, Niles. I disagree. I think that's a common thought. You just gotta broaden your horizons. Come on now. Don't be such a prude. Not even telling us the answer to the goddamn riddle. Ain't that a bitch? Ain't that a bitch? I'm impressed you were that close on the city name. I mean, living in Maine, like, I'm not even that far from like a reservation, really. I'm not, so there's a fair amount of native names in this state. Granted, different tribes, obviously, based on where he was from and where I am, but, it's not impossible. Wisconsin's full of fun names, yeah. Wisconsin's just full of fun, baby. Am I right? Especially on Grindr. All right. They're gonna bother with the sways. Gentlemen, just take the fucking visits. Just take the visits. Only gonna drop in a riddle as your first match with some trickster god. It is quite the power move. I'll give him that. Visits. Championship contender. Visits. Championship contender. He used to live there. And how was it, Earl? And how was it? Eventually, all the friends that you made there, though, had to say goodbye, Earl. All right, on to the next week. The final countdown. What do we got? No new recruits this week. That's concerning. Got dudes who aren't even that good just being like, yeah, I'm just going to ignore the 2-time defending champions. Are you kidding me? Look at these last visits, small town Wisconsin. Work there. Nothing like living in the middle of nowhere, Small town, middle of nowhere. It's different. All right. I think we're pretty much good to go. Like, unless there's any last-second 3 stars. Again, there were no 5 stars on the board that were still interested. No 4 stars. Do we have any 3 stars that are still interested? I don't know if any of these guys are actually going to be good. I'm not really going to have time to get them. Actually, we did scout some of them, so I think we're good. There are a couple of athletes in the mix. This guy's just begging us to send him a deal. So we don't have that much time left. The dude's at the bottom. Stan McCann. Stan, I hope you McCann. Because we need some people. 71 break tackle as a power back. Sorry, Chief, you're out. And Jeremy Mahoney. 80 catching, 94 jumping, good speed. Not the best, right? He's not that bad. All right, Mr. Mahoney, congratulations. Here's the vast majority of the rest of our points, because what the hell else are we going to do? It's was a really weird recruitment time where the transfer portal did not make a whole hell of a lot of sense, but, you know, we will deal with it. We do get Tyler Feliciano, a fullback. Probably won't be the only fullback. We get tight end Derek Madu. Outside linebacker Dalvin Henry. Outside linebacker Lorenzo Cotter. Outside linebacker Floyd Harbor. Corner Malik Sams. Corner Malcolm Enderly. Corner Lee Kafka. Let's go. We didn't get Gilmore and we didn't get Mahoney, but that's okay. That's a pretty good recruitment class for us. I don't think it'll be top 5, but it might be. It might be. Where's this located? Great state of Maine, baby. Top classes. Hey, we did get a top 5 class. Let's go. All right. Well, we got to do that one more time at least. That could have been our second, like I talked about before. But the number 3 class in the nation, 4 5 stars, 9 4 stars, and 10 3 stars. Sees us above Georgia despite their 22. Am I the only one that thinks it's kind of ridiculous that we were higher up than Georgia? Like that's ridiculous, right? A differential of 5 3 stars in our favor. They had 13 more 4-star players. Maybe it's factoring in player quality, but like in terms of star rate, I don't really see how we're higher rated than them at all. I'm not complaining. I'll take it. It's beneficial to what we're doing here, but it just seems weird. In terms of the boys we brought in this season, 4-star gem, Felix Hargrave. Impact dev. Okay. That's not bad. Jordan Thrasher is normal dev. Okay. And elite dev for Daniel Canonico. 4-star gem has better dev trait than a 5-star gem. Daniel Canonico. Welcome in. We did, in fact, get a great quarterback after all. The Cannon. At running back, normal dev for 4-star Timmy Morse. Okay. Hell of a power back, though. We did get the fullback. Shout out to Riskit for the biscuits. 6 months in advance, 68 months. Outrageous. Riskit, my God, how the heck are you? Thank you for supporting my face in these trying times of cheating for a national title. He admitted it. Kennedy. No, I can't say his name like Kennedy. I'm sorry. I haven't taken enough steroids to do that. Brisket, thank you for that. I appreciate the hell out of you. Feliciano, normal dev. Byron Rochelle is impact dev, as is Terrence Hutchinson. We got fullbacks, baby. We got fullbacks. At wideout, star dev for John G. Gee, the BG. Etheridge is impact dev. All right, so I mean, we got an elite dev. We got a couple star devs. Mahoney went to Mississippi State. Tight end, Madu, impact dev. Okay. We didn't get Petonio, who was star dev, though. This is USC, the bastards. At tackle, normal dev for Matt Jones. His attributes still really good. Just created my custom team for when I get this game. The Broad Street Bowl is using Gritty for the logo. That's... You can't be the first person to do that. That is a really good idea. Impact dev for Emmanuel Aramashuru. And impact dev for Timmy Montgomery. Defensive end, impact dev. See, a 4-star gem had the better dev trait than a 5-star. It can happen, I get it, but case in point about why gems, buzz, 5 stars, 4 stars. I did crash, I did. Good reference. Linebacker, star dev for Sateki Obi. Even though he's a bust, he still had the second highest dev trait you can have. So case in point, don't worry too much about gems and busts. Raphael Rabe, whatever, is also star dev. McCartney is star dev. Normal dev for Dalvin Henry. Star dev for Lorenzo Cotter. Normal dev for Floyd Harbor. Okay. Middle linebacker, Gilmore was normal dev. He went to Purdue. Impact dev for Malik Sams. Star dev for 3-star gem Malcolm Enderle. Again, it's all about the attributes. And impact dev for Leith Kafka, who actually had better attributes than Enderle. And nobody at safety, nobody at kicker or punter. We had the 3rd best class in the nation, apparently. I won't say no to that. We do have to make a choice in terms of the coaching skill tree, right? Because speccing more into Motivator right now would be pretty nice for the off-season development. It would be. And Strategist is based solely on visits. The base level is bonus XP for each prospect visiting for a win. This one's just bonus XP for each win. Yearly XP for records held by a player you coached. XP gain. I mean, we do have the ability to unlock Program Builder. The school grade or prestige increases, you get bonus XP. Definitely got options. What's left in that tab? Job security, home field advantage with momentum, stop players from leaving, help players to come back, improve the recruiting impacts of your primary pipeline. I mean, that is pretty strong. Improve your school's recruiting pipelines and abilities to help you earn XP and unlock goals faster. An additional XP for all goals. That's not bad. But again, yeah, if you're capped out, like, you really would have to just spec into what you're looking to do there. For the moment, then, let's think short term because of the talent that we lost. Let's get that extra XP off-season training boost. With how powerful that is, we'll save the remaining 5. And then the position changes. I mean, this is still a hell of a team. That is for sure. Canonico is a 76 out of the gates with elite dev. I mean, that guy is a beast. He's not the fastest, but as a pocket passer, he's pretty damn good. We leave all those guys at QB. We're looking all right there, although a die kind of overshadows Canonico. I'll have to make a choice. In terms of the athletes, Jordan Thrasher, 99 speed, Felix Hardgrave, and Timmy Morse. 2 quarterbacks and a running back, apparently. Can anybody catch a football? Timmy Morse cannot catch a football. Where does it say you can play? Linebacker, defensive end, running back. I mean, you probably are more on. He's a moron. He's probably more on the defensive side than the offensive side, right? He is fast as shit. And catching isn't great, even for a running back. He can't run routes either, so definitely looking at a defender. 86 jumping at 6'1". How often have you had crashes while doing positional changes? Just once. Because you got to make sure you don't try to move too many players out of the positions. You can't have any tab be at like 0. 71 tackling, 72 hit power, the block shedding, finesse power moves aren't bad. Pursuit's good. Can't play man, can't play zone. So, if you're a defender, you are a defensive end. If you are on offense, you would be more of a running back. Pass blocking is okay, but not amazing enough to be like a fullback. I mean, this guy's going to have to be a defensive end then. It's the one that makes the most sense for him. What about a season where you move every player to their worst position? I mean, you'd have to say every position that isn't the lowest overall, which is like... So for like Parmesan, it would be like tight end. I mean, unless you literally wanted me to put like Gene Parmesan at quarterback, which that would be something. I'll give you that. That would be something. We would be atrocious. That is for sure. You'd have everyone at kicker or punter. I mean, I guess it would have to be like the players that aren't the worst at kicking or punting. Both these guys can catch. They're not the best route runners in the world. Crazy jumping. They both do have throw power. All right, for the moment, let's just... Oh, I mean, I could move you to quarterback, but then I'd have to move you back to see what else you're good at. That's the problem. Well, technically not, actually. Here. Move you to QB, since you can play there. No guarantees that you're staying, but time will tell. And the other athlete is Felix Hargraves. No guarantees you're staying there either, but this will be helpful. We'll see what happens in terms of who stays. Could anybody else play quarterback, just so I know? Anybody else? These guys and up. That's all the QBs. Okay, good. Running back wise. Hand off more. Can you catch a football? Kind of. You're not great at it, though, and you're a pretty bad route runner. We'll just leave you at running back. That's fine. Mr. Belvedere. Can you catch a football? Not really. Veto power can, but he's not fast enough. Same for Boosh. And Scuff Mike, so that's pretty much running back set up. For the potential fullbacks. Yeah, it's looking like Tyler Feliciano is our fullback, because the other two could be useful elsewhere. Perhaps. How's your catch rating? Not great, that's for sure. Mr. Terrence Hutchinson. Let's move you over to tight end. Oh, you're terrible there, apparently, but that is the best spot for you. And Byron Rochelle. Also put you there. Pull back Tyler Feliciano for as long as that's actually his name. The wideouts. Anybody sub 90 speed? Nope. Anybody here who can't really catch a football? Shipman is probably the worst of the bunch. Could be a running back. He is fast. Yeah, I mean, given the catching isn't that great. Let's move old Mikey Shipman over to running back. He'll be probably a cut. That means the wide receivers are good. Fast as hell. Most people have at least 80 catching. Etheridge is a 72. Jesus, 78 out of the gates. We got some high-rated players immediately joining this team. Tight ends. Oh, boy. Top 5 can all at least catch a football. The bottom 4 cannot in any way. Right. Bottom 3, that is, because technically 2 can. So Derek Madu. I hate to tell you, but you are probably going back over to fullback here. Technically, he could go to guard. Put him on the O-line? I mean, he's big enough. Just speed and agility. 68 agility. Isn't great. You know what, Madu? Why not? Let's put you at center. You might not stick around, but... And then Rochelle, you also go to the line instead of fullback. You are very bad at it. You are very bad at it. Play that cowbell, baby. Boy, he's bad at it. But, you know what? Screw it. Put you there. You are also off the center for the moment, because you're not even the best fullback. And then Terry, old Terrence... You get to be a 44 overall running back because you're also pretty bad. So, we'll see how the hell this works out for us. The O-line. Pickerings, because of that lack of agility. Put you at center for the moment. Honestly, I mean, with most people, we are going to have to reorganize again. Anybody with 80 plus agility, put at tackle. 70s can be at guard. Sub 70, we'll put it center for the moment. We have this sorted. Holy centers, by the way. Jesus Christmas. So, George. Over to left guard. Okay, so yeah, even with some of the players we've lost, we are still going to have a really, really good team. Which isn't exactly surprising, but I figured it was worth announcing. And Mr. Rochelle, you actually have some decent agility. We'll put you at left guard. I think he actually had good dev, but he's pretty bad. Let's see. Below me, Crash. Move him to center. And then right tackle. Looking good there. Let's skip this right over centers. All right. Any confirmation on Pete Maravich? He's still here. I don't think he graduated yet. I don't think. All right, so all these guys are best at center. A lot of players at guard. That's for sure. Move Byron Rochelle over. And then tackles, hell of a lot of talent at tackle. Hell of a lot of talent at tackle. Good lord. Good lord. All right. The O-line is still looking pretty damn good. We might technically be worse at center this year, but it is best not pay too much attention to the overall. Defensively, yeah, Pistol Pete is here. He's only a junior as well, so he's not that bad. That bad at all. So first things first, defensive tackle, anybody over 280 pounds. Be a DT, and to be honest, we look like we're okay. We magically have a very hefty linebacker. Oh my god, we do. I didn't notice that Mustafa was 6'6", 292. Oh my god, Moose. You gotta go to defensive tackle, buddy. We need that that meat. Don't take that out of context. We need that meat at defensive tackle, though. Look at the DTs, Jesus Christ. So then linebacker, defensive end, and oh man, just overall. Overall, how do we want to do this? Because obviously we don't know how certain players have developed over the last year. So Mall Walker, Texas Ranger, decently fast. Can't play zone worth a shit. The only guy that can play zone a little bit is Blue Mimi. Everybody else is still best at the defensive line. But we will move Blue Mimi to linebacker. Anybody here? Play any sort of cover defense. Technically, Bryce Wolf, 74 zone. That's not that bad. We'll move him out too. Defensive tackle, we got our big boys. So linebacker. Some of the new boys are definitely going to struggle bus. Trying to play cover defense. So Mr. Rabe, or whatever it might be. We need you to go to the defensive line because you cannot play coverage. And the other guy for sure is Ryan McCartney, who is also going to the defensive line. So from here, let's double check middle linebackers. Okay. On the outside, Sateki Obi. We also desperately need you to go to the defensive line because, again, can't play any coverage whatsoever. Same for Dalvin Henry. This is how we end up with so many defensive ends, is because people just cannot play defense. Even if it says they're good in that position, you got to check the attributes. Then Lorenzo Cotter. We're also going to move you to defensive end. So then from here, Fastest Fook can technically play some man coverage. 90 speed, I might need to move him to corner, just out of necessity. These guys can all at least play some zone. So can these guys. Hog isn't fast enough to play corner, nor is Dominic Guerrero, at least ideally. So then at corner, Malcolm Enderley. If you are going to be in the secondary, it is going to have to be as a safety because you cannot play man at all. 86 speed for Daddy, but he is a very good defender. Malik Sam's a little bit slow, but at least has a plus 70 man coverage. Again, none of these other guys did, right? No one else is over a 70, except for Dominic Guerrero. Hog is definitely too slow, but honestly, Guerrero, we might have to move him back to the corner. He is an amazing linebacker, but we need that help at corner. At least everybody there has 70 coverage. Horde DeRoy, we'll move you over to corner just really quickly. Same for Oreo Cream Filling. We just got to see who the best of the bunch happens to be at corner. And then over here, both these guys, yeah, good at zone, but not good at man. Okay. So back to linebackers. Numbers-wise, I think we're okay to balance it. And then for the corners, how many safeties do we have? 3. We need at least one more. Who's the worst at man coverage? It's Oreo Cream Filling. Move him to safety. How many corners does that leave us with? Quite a few. Who else is bad at man but good at zone? Corduroy and Guerrero. Honestly, we already have the depth elsewhere that we can definitely move those guys. Only one of them needs to go to free safety to be the starter. And it would make sense for it to be Corduroy because of the speed, and then we can move Guerrero back to linebacker, which will be a big boost for that position. I have him back. I did not want to move Chalmers. Thank you very much. Love when we hit the button too fast. Mr. Guerrero. There we go. So safety, looking good. Corners, I mean, that top 3 is ridiculous. And then Putty McDriverson's going to be there too. Looking good. Linebackers, who plays the best zone defense? We got Manziel's Dealer. We'll move to middle linebacker. And the final one, I think, was Guerrero, right? With that man coverage. Zone coverage, I mean. There we go. All right. Showing up as a 93 middle linebacker. Bunny, take it easy, by the way. We're good. We are good. We got people who can actually play some defense. Crap load of defensive ends. But we'll deal with it. It's off of actual overall. Let's get Tougie as a shill over to right end. Wait, it's an 86, an 81, an 86. Move Ushite left. Can Gay not play D-back? He is fast, but he can't play any coverage whatsoever. I mean, he'd be a risky safety, basically. So, he's been better to put at edge. All right, I believe we are good with the exception of just double checking if we want all those guys that can play quarterback to actually be at QB, but if you can play quarterback, we might as well see what you can do, because we do have the depth pretty much everywhere then. Yeah. Honestly, I mean, a lot of potential quarterbacks, especially Hargrave with 99 speed. And actually, let's do one final check. One final check here. So picks of plenty and higher. Anybody catch a football? Rasher, Hargrave, Adai. And all technically catch a football. Everyone else stays at quarterback. The route running that Adai has. Very solid. Jumping, obviously they're not bad QBs, but the question is, can they play somewhere else? Hargrave can't block at all. Pass block power is okay, I guess. What we got defensively here? Bad tackling on Thrasher. So he would be running back or wide out. Both Adai and Hargrave could be corners. Definitely have to train up the tackling, but they're fast enough they could both be corners. Although the press for Adai is fucking terrible, so never mind. They are super inconsistent. No defensive ability whatsoever for Thrasher. But he can catch a football. He's fast. Yeah, you know, it's a Jordan Thrasher. He's going to go to wide out. Train him up there. I mean, technically, could go tight end, but he was short, wasn't he? Yeah, 6 foot. Better at wide out. And then Adai and Hargrave. And both can catch the ball. It is true that Adai is gigantic. Spec catch isn't great like it is for Hargrave, but it's not bad. Adai is a much better route runner. I mean, granted, Hargrave isn't horrific. Neither's great at blocking. I mean, Adai at tight end wouldn't make much sense. He's just not that great a blocker, but he's okay for a wide out. Tackling and coverage, I mean, both could technically be a corner. Press rating is bad for both of them, though. Yeah, there's just no way. Move them both to wide out. We need the extra help at wide out more than we needed at quarterback at this point. We will move them both. Leaves these 4 QBs, including 2 seniors, but we know Kananiko is going to be a beast. Leaves us a hell of a lot of options at wide out now over the next couple of seasons as well. We have a lot of freshmen in there. Think it looks good? I think it looks good. Now, the big question is, we've spec'd kind of heavily now into off-season training results. This could end up being pretty stupid in terms of just how much better things get. And, well, it said we hit level 50 and, like, loaded towards 51. We have hit level 50. Right. Okay. terms of, oh my god, dude, the amount of 90s on this team. Granted, some of it's because of coach effect, but holy shit, dude. Picks aplenty is an 86. Heading into his senior year, he's an 86. Michael shit, oh my fucking god, dude, it's insane. Dude, he went from like a, what, 72 running back or something? He's now an 87. He went from the bottom of the running back depth chart to the top of it. He seriously just went from the bottom to the top in one training camp session. That is unbelievable. Holy shit, dude. Wide out, to the ball's an 89, Piss Missile's an 88, Ben Shaw's an 85, Adai is now an 83. Dude, that, I mean... Whew. Wow. Tight ends, Daniels is an 86 as a sophomore, so is a bunch of numbers as a sophomore. He's an 82. The O-line is going to be nuts. 290s, granted with the boosts. An 88. So, Olam Pickering's went up like 6, 7 points, if not more than that. Lomi Crash is up there. I mean, we are just at the point where we're going to have a national title contending team pretty much every season. That is where we are at. 89 overall for Tougie is a shill. Targaryen's an 87. Parmesan's a legit 88. Baby Corn's an 86. Like, look at this team, man. 80 and an 81 there, so Cole's technically better than Cog Hog. Guerrero's a 91 as a sophomore. Jesus Christ. Blue Mimi ended up being the best right outside linebacker of the bunch somehow. And then the corners, 86, 85, 84, 81. Safeties, we got an 89 and an 83, an 84 and an 81. Our kicker's up to an 88 as a senior. Our punter's an 84. And the other one hit the balls a 72. This team is just... Does a stacked talent developer if the coordinators have it? Yes. And that's the big reason as to why we just get an ungodly amount of XP. So I'm not going to use these points yet as we load into next week. Okay, it's not going to show me anything about like coach progress again. Courage transfers, the custom conferences, but in terms of the abilities then, actually before we do that, the XP goals. Yeah, it looks like 50 is the cap, right? Because you see Shipman was us, not a generated name. It shows the white bar as like, oh, up to level 51. I mean, I can't tell for sure, but it sure looks like that bar is full and 50 is the max. So, got a splash, by the way. Thank you for the raid. Yeah, I mean, it does look like we hit our ceiling. And then it's just like, all right, you have the points. What are you going to do with them? I didn't think we'd hit 50 that quickly. So, I mean, obviously, we could use 50 points to unlock CEO. To get the big game bonus, additional XP for winning bowl games, but at that point... So at that point, the archetype perk, like, who cares? Who cares, right? Because, okay, you gotta win 2 national titles to be able to unlock it. And it keeps adding pointless XP. So, like, the only way, like, that's... I don't really see the point, then. Like, okay, you get additional XP. Is it for the players or for your coach? Because if it's for your coach, you can't progress any further, right? Like, that's just what it is. You can't progress any further. Splash, this is our team builder team. So I'm actually as excited as I was for CEO. And as, like, as helpful as some of these abilities can be... We have 38k, 10k XP. So what is the point of CEO then? Unless your game plan is to be like, I'm never beyond a base level gonna spec into any of the starting 3 tiers, recruiter, motivator, or tactician. The only thing you can really do is unlock those at a base level. Don't invest into them. Let your coordinators invest into them. And then specifically save points to spec into CEO or program builder at the end. Like, there's no way to max out the tree. So yeah, I'd literally have to never spend points on recruiter. Have all of these points back, the 4 out of 4s. Have all of the points back from tactician, almost all 4 out of 4s. And then only spend the more in-depth points on like program builder and CEO to really get those kind of cheat codes. How many seasons did it take to get to level 50? Not long. So the first 6 seasons, we were on the slowest depth possible, or the slowest earning possible for Coach XP, and then this past season we were on the maximum. So I mean, it'd take less than a decade. Maybe max out recruiter, leave others as the base. Yeah, you gotta figure, because these are 18 points per. This one helps, but only once you have a national title contending team. And of course, if you unlock CEO, that means you've already won 2 national titles. So, how much does that really help anyway? I mean, I guess it just lets you keep the super team. Obviously, like, second chance keeper is good. That one is phenomenal. The home field advantage effects. Able to see other schools' at-risk players, that's not a huge deal. Right? Like, honestly, that's a useless ability. Who the hell cares? Because it's not even a guarantee that they go to the portal. That is a completely useless ability. Players start hot in top 5 rivalry bowls and championship games. That's a good one. 1 year extension when being fired. Depends on if you're playing with firing on or off. Chance of instant commitment offering a scholarship as their top school is, I mean, that's the Saban effect, or the Saban factor from 14, so that is good. Maybe if you started a coordinator at a big school, CEO would make more sense. Maybe, yeah. Discounts on coach abilities when another coach has the same ability, so I mean, that is obviously like if you want to spec super heavy into something. But as we've discussed, that's not necessarily the best way to go about it. Increase all skill group caps by 1 for rising seniors is good, but honestly, most of these CEO abilities are just kind of meh. Like, the sways are one thing, but it's like, well, a lot of guys end up with low chances, so it's like, just kind of accept that. The first round projected players, again, the likelihood they stay are probably going to be low anyway. The best ones are the home field advantage effects being lower, but that's only at rival stadiums. So that's super specific. The players start... the fucking Massachusetts coming out at me. The players start hot in those big game scenarios is nice, but is it that much better than speccing into tactician the whole time? Because this way you get attribute boosts to everybody, right? So like the CEO tab is nice, but then knowing, and again, this one's a non-factor if you have firing being off. The only one that's really worth it is Dream School. But at that point, you've won 2 national titles, so you probably already have a really good team, and much like us, even though we're only a 3.5-star program, what's the point? Because we already have a good team. So I gotta be honest, the CEO tab kind of feels worthless. Like the additional XP, right? The archetype perk. So you spend 30 points, you get that archetype perk. Is nice if that counts towards players. But if it counts towards your coach, there's really no point. I mean, I guess it could, if you're at like level 25. But then again, if you've won 2 national titles, you're probably higher than a level 25. I don't really see the point of the CEO tab at all. Everything it can offer you by the time you've already unlocked it for winning 2 national titles is just kind of redundant. It's not worth the points. Program Builder Bonus XP when a school grade or prestige increases. That's not bad. Again, if the points count towards your coach, which I presume they do, you might as well just go for Program Builder over CEO. I really do not see the point of that CEO tab at all. Program Builder, the archetype perk is nice. The 3 instability improvements are fine. Again, if you're playing with firing off. Composure penalties are nice for gameplay, but is it that much more effective than what you get in Strategist or Tactician? Not really. I agree there should probably be a respec option, yeah. Roster retention's okay, but the tier 2, like, players are less likely to transfer, but that's not an incredibly big problem because you can adapt in the middle of the season. Persuade options are nice, but they're not the end-all be-all, right? I mean, again, like, having a higher success rate's okay, but they're expensive. And what were the bottom 3? Additional XP from all completed goals. That is nice. Bonus XP when taking a new job. Archetypes are cheaper if owned by another coach. I mean, that'll save you a little bit, but not a ton. This is the one that's really worth it. Upgrading the pipelines. These bottom 2 are absolutely worth it. These are better than anything in the CEO tab. Are the pipeline builders. Those are easily the most important abilities. So yeah, I mean, if I had to recommend to people, don't worry about the CEO tab at all. If you can spec into Program Builder in the pipeline, then you're not doing bad. I wasn't able to unlock Architect because we didn't have the rivalry games. These are good in terms of improving your players and how they develop. No doubt about that. Especially when it says the skill cap. That's when you look at a player and it has like the X'd out box. So yeah, I mean, Architect is good. The talent developer, the bottom 2 are worth it, but it makes it expensive. Like, there's no denying, like, CEO is not worth it at all. Recruiter's overpowered as hell. And then Motivator's not bad. I mean, yeah, there's really no point to just not go for the basic level program stuff unless you can unlock Program Builder quickly for the sake of the pipeline stuff. But that stuff is so expensive that maybe it's not worth the trade-off. I mean, again, like, talent developer is nice, but again, it's more expensive since it's not a base level, right? Like, red, yellow, and blue are all 5-point upgrades. Then it goes to 8 and then further up. So there's definitely a reason to spec into the ones that you can unlock, but some of them certainly seem to have diminishing returns. Like, Strategist, being able to learn someone's dev trait on a visit is very helpful because that can save you. But at that point as well, you've also put in so much work into them that is it really worth... Like, if you learn that their dev trait's great, are you already putting that many more points onto them? I mean, you'd have to schedule all of your visits super quickly. But that counteracts the last dance from tier 3, which makes you want to schedule them late. So, outside of the top 2 tiers, they're probably not worth speccing into anymore. So, the skill tree is an interesting idea, but without being able to respec it at this point of a dynasty, it's almost like, what the hell's the point of going for some of the bigger up abilities, right? A little bit. Again, we didn't even unlock Elite Recruiter yet, which is nuts. The fact that the Recruitment tab can get even more. Like, if you're just playing this game straight up, you know what you do? Only spec into Recruiter. That's the fastest way to build a good team. Don't worry about anything else. Literally only spec into Recruiter. And within a decade, tops, you're going to be getting 5 stars left and right. That's just how it's going to work. I mean, that is easily the best tab on that tree, no doubt about it. So, At least I have a better idea now when it's like, okay, for future ones, what the hell do we want to, look towards? Like, CEO is, Most of program builders, Definitely avoid the recruiter tab because it's too goddamn overpowered and takes away all the challenge. We're in an interesting spot with this team, right? I mean, if we've won back-to-back, if we want to try to win another one, we can. Maybe we are a little bit closer, though, to starting a new challenge and seeing where that takes us. Maybe we are, just to make it even more challenging than what this was, so I'm not sure. We'll see.